The crew of the Legacy jet searches desperately for a place to land their crippled plane. Captain Joseph Lepore finds a small military base on his chart.
November 600, X-ray Lima. We have an emergency.
State your emergency.
November 600, X-ray Lima. Declared an emergency. We need to land at Sierra Bravo Charlie Charlie. Is that your airport?
Affirmative.
Finding an airport was a stroke of luck, but the crew's troubles are far from over. Now they have to get the damaged jet safely on the ground. Palladino and Lepore can't configure their plane for a routine landing.
Hold it, let's dump the flaps at the top of the flare, right? So give me 9 on the flare. 9.
Extending flaps increases the size of the wing. Since a bigger wing can generate more lift, pilots can slow down to land.
You good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
With all the damage they've sustained, the crew doesn't want to put too much pressure on their wing. They won't be able to extend their flaps until the last moment. They'll have to land faster than usual.
Everyone sit down back there.
I see these trees now, you know, at ground level. Just sort of, it looked almost like a movie with one of those moving backgrounds. And I'm thinking, I hope this runway doesn't run out.
You got it.
Palladino hits the brakes hard.
Good. Good. You got it. Hold it.
Then finally the plane begins to slow.
Woo! Good job. Oh, man.
And then finally, we just did come to a halt. There's that beautiful silence that occurs when the engines are shut down and everything was just quiet again.
For more than 25 minutes, the business jet had flown with part of its wing torn off. There's also damage to the plane's tail. Somehow, high over the rainforest, something tore into the plane. The bizarre day takes another strange twist. Because they've landed at a military base, soldiers confiscate the passports of everyone on board.
And that's the point at which I realized that we were in custody. I don't think the others on the airplane had the immediate sense that this was a custodial situation.
Along with the 2 pilots, the jet's passengers are taken to the nearby airbase. The emergency on board the Legacy jet has thrown Brasilia ACC into turmoil. But it's not the only problem controllers there are facing. Another plane they're expecting to see hasn't shown up. Goal Flight 1907 should be on radar in Brasilia. The missing flight is a Boeing 737 with 154 people on board. It's been in the air for 2 hours and should be nearing Brasilia. But controllers there can't find any trace of that plane.
Manaus, there isn't any goal. There isn't any goal with us here.
It's on its way.
They check its status with controllers in Manaus, who were last in contact with the plane.
Anxiety was high, and controllers were confused about what to say. They didn't know what was happening.
Deep in the Amazon, those who were on the XLR jet are also struggling to figure out what happened.
We hit something, man. That's all I know.
Maybe it was a condor.
Are you kidding? It was 37,000 feet.
Well, maybe it was a military jet.
No, I think the plane must have exploded and we flew through the debris field. There would have been more impact.
As they're trying to piece together the day's strange events, the group gets some shocking news. A Goal flight has crashed. It's the plane that's been missing.
I just heard the 737 went down in the Amazon right where we were.
It was like a thunderclap. The world changed immediately. And Joe and Jan were just stricken. I don't think I've ever seen two more anguished men in my life.
The Goal flight crashed right where the Legacy lost a piece of its wing. It can't be a coincidence. Approximately 100 kilometers from the military base, the wreckage of Goal Flight 1907 has been found.
The greatest difficulty involved the fact that the plane fell straight down. When it hit the ground, the trees covered it up, making it hard to get to.
The shattered remains of the plane litter the jungle floor. The news hits controllers in Brasilia extremely hard.
They had just realized that the worst thing that could happen in air control happened. People were crying. A lot of people had to be dragged out of the room. Things were not under control in the room.
Over the next several days, troops pour over the scene of the Goal crash. The dense jungle slows their progress. A makeshift helicopter landing pad is carved out of the jungle. It's becoming increasingly clear that no one has survived. 154 people are killed. At the time, it's the worst crash in the history of Brazilian aviation. What had happened in the skies above the Amazon? Investigators face a mammoth job. Colonel Rufino Ferreira is in charge of the investigation into the Goal crash.
An investigator always has to keep an open mind. You can't start with any preconceived ideas. When we arrived at the location of the accident, the only thing we knew for sure was that we had found the plane that was missing.
The wreckage of the Goal jet is spread over more than 2 kilometers. The widespread debris tells investigators that the plane ripped apart before crashing to the ground.